Okay, a bit of an update on 3D printing. I got some new prints. First of all, I might as well say what it is. This is a tray and it holds 6, count them 6, not beers, a little too small, 3-ounce Dixie cups. And why? Because I go to the freezer, well, I make ice cream and I don't want to eat a lot of it at a time, so smaller portions, 3-ounce Dixie cups, but when I make them, put them in the freezer, I wanted them to not fall down or tip, because the ice cream will come out, because it makes it kind of like, it's not quite hard when it makes the ice cream. That's a whole different story. Anyway, so yeah, I made this, it was modeled in Blender, not the best modeling tool for stuff like this, but it does work, and I know it, so that's why I use that. So this is a PETg, and it was my first one, and it turned out okay. Trying to get a close up. But as I said, this is actually my very first print with PETg, very first print. It's pretty much what they say, it's stringy. So you get these little strings that kind of come off, and they're pretty much everywhere. And you kind of get to pull them off, but they're kind of annoying. Now this, I have 2 of these, and there's not an apples to apples comparison because I did print on a higher setting. This was a very low, not quite a draft, maybe it was a draft, but it turned out okay, it works. It's just, the stringiness, and you can kind of see it's just not very high quality, but again, draft mode. So that was PETg, and I probably could do it again and it probably would look better, but I do worry about these little strings that kind of come off, just because that's the way PETg can be. I did it again, and this is a special ABS plastic. It's a kind of a high quality that's supposed to not warp, and so far it hasn't warped. It does a really good job of not warping, maybe too good. I'll get to that. But this wasn't the highest level, but it was pretty high, and pretty big difference in quality. I mean, just if you see them side by side, I'll put a close up, but probably not the best way of stacking. This is not vertical video. But yeah, you can kind of see that, wow, huge difference. Huge difference in quality. Just nice and smooth. I think I turned the ironing on, where you kind of at the very last layer, it tries to kind of smooth it out. The way the bottom can be, because the bottom is attached to the hotbed. More on that. But yeah, so overall I think pretty good. I mean, I'm really happy with this one. Now, the problem that I had, that I discovered, is that this bottom, it's nice and shiny, nice and clean, very little problems. This one, in fact, the reason I'm using gloves is I've got glass. And as I said, it's going to be for ice cream. Well, ice cream is in the cup, so I would have thrown this away right away. And really technically throw it away, start again, because these little, they don't want to be eating glass. But this glass is here because it's from the hotbed. The hotbed, it stuck so well, which is great. Did it warp at all? No, I think so. Kind of seemed like the edges have a minor warp. I don't think so. But they do have glass, so my hotbed is kind of ruined at this point, and I'm going to have to go ahead and turn it over, and then I'm going to try another print with the blue tape, because I can't be ruining my hotbeds. Now maybe I could, I don't know, turn down the heat a little. It's hard to say. I think this just, when you're like lifting it up, you can hear that special type of cracking noise, and that's when, oh yeah, my glass is breaking. It's a broken glass type sound. So yeah, I could probably scrape this off. My high-tech enclosure is a cardboard box. I should do this over, hold on. So a little bit of scraping, and yeah, that glass is just on there. And again, my hotbed, poor glass plate. At least I got one side to flip it over, but I don't want this happening again. So a nice, big, huge, flat surface. I guess that's time to really consider using the blue tape, which I bought a while ago. I just didn't want to use it. I figured if I don't have to use it, don't use it. But stuff like this happening, I can't have glass on the bottom of my print. So that's good to know. Good to know that you could end up getting glass. They're not kidding on some filaments, but I don't think this ABS even said that you have to use it. Because some do. Some they say do not print directly to the glass bed. Maybe this is one of them. This is the 3rd time I printed this, but actually the first 2 did alright. It wasn't like they're terrible. This is that special ABS that's supposed to not warp. It's funny because I guess fingerprints. Yeah, so you really gotta use the alcohol to clean that glass because, yeah, there they are. Really odd, actually. I don't even know what that is, but it lifted tiny bit of lifting. Very, very tiny, and it looks like it's sort of curved a little too. So it's not perfect, pretty good, but perfect no. But yeah, it's interesting how the fingerprints are kind of on there, and I mean this is a brand new glass, and again that's on the other side. That's not even on this side, but maybe it affects it actually. I wonder if it does. I didn't even check, but anyway, yeah, not perfect. It'll work, but it is interesting that it is sort of lift a tiny bit, or just kind of, yeah, just kind of came away a little. Interesting. So I already lifted it off, but I just kind of wanted to show. Okay, so what I kind of like is, yeah, you get that nice melted, glossy look from because it's on the base layer. It did like it was pretty loose, kind of came up, and I'm guessing the skirt or brim, what do we call it? I mean that's kind of loose too, but then again, it's cooling off a little, so that could be part of it. And once again, that is on the back side, so that is not glass. And see, the one advantage is if you can print this way is no hairspray, no cleaning. I mean, I'd probably still wipe it with alcohol, I suppose, but no. Yeah, you know, I kind of wonder about glass, whether it kind of, the alcohol eventually gets down in there and makes a difference to the hairspray. I mean, it's a solid surface, but it doesn't mean it's not porous at some level. So, all right, there we go, little guy. One final thing as I'm analyzing this little kind of action figure is, it's not staying in focus, but I was going to clean the supports, and I put supports on if it needed it, but wow, it did not need any supports at all, and the angle that it did was pretty darn amazing. Actually, I'm really kind of shocked. It's funny because it's supposed to be like a zombie and it has blood and guts, so I can't tell if it's like extra stuff on the printer or like threads, or if it's just the way it's modeled. Actually, I could go look at the original model. But yeah, this is the highest quality level I had, and I gotta say, just the fact that it did that with no supports at all, that's pretty good. So it started at the bottom and just kind of prints at an angle. I just really in awe that I was able to do that, because definitely can see lines. I mean, yeah. But that's close up. I mean, this little guy, it's small.